Hello and welcome to this second set of podcasts. Now, we hope to release a podcast on most Wednesdays at noon over the next 10 weeks if we can. And in this podcast, myself and Paul chat with drivers from this year's Magical Taxi Tour, which Paul also took part in. Now, every year, around 100 taxis with the drivers take seriously ill children and their families to Disneyland Paris for the weekend. This is one of the many special trips organised and arranged by London's taxi drivers. Now, this year's Magical Taxi Tour was another huge success, and I have great admiration for everyone involved in this, from the sponsors, the taxi drivers themselves, the worshipful company of Hackney carriage drivers, and all the extra family members who do their bit behind the scenes. Now, if you're thinking of offering your help for future tours, please contact the worshipful company of Hackney carriage drivers. Their email is on the screen now. Also, bear in mind there are other events organised by taxi drivers that may need your help, and you as a taxi driver or a knowledge student could get involved in. If you're interested, then Poppy Cabs run by Mike Hughes is looking for people to act as stewards and may need drivers for this year's Remembrance Day parade. So get in touch with him. His contact details are on the screen now if you'd like to offer some help. And finally, don't forget, if you're watching these videos, please like, subscribe and hit the notification bell, and as well as putting comments below. Enjoy the video. Brilliant. And the other thing, don't tap the table. It knocks the cameras.
I'll get in trouble now.
God dear, Mark, you'll be useless on the telly.
Oh, no.
Oh, dear. So we're here today with Paul Byron, Martin Richbell and Lee Conlon. And we're going to discuss about Disney, the Disney trip that you've just done, and the charity that's involved and how it works and how many years it's been going. It's been quite a long while. When did you go on the Disney trip last? When did it happen?
September the 19th.
And that's it.
Yeah.
3 weeks ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, 3 weeks ago, yeah.
With big success?
Yes, very.
Yeah.
I've been doing it for a few years, about 12 years, and I've got to be honest, we've had a break because of the pandemic, but the feedback we've got from people like your drivers, Paul and Lee and that lot, I spoke to you about it when I was teaching with you and that lot and telling how good it was, and I've got to say, I think it was one of the best I've been on. The chemistry between all the drivers was really good, weren't it? It was I thought we had a few technical problems from my side, the committee side, what went wrong, but the actual trip itself was really good, and the feedback since has been fantastic. Brilliant. Really good.
As you say, it was a more successful year than ever.
Yeah.
Was there a lot more new drivers on it this year?
Yeah, 50% new drivers. There was actual 50 drivers. Normally we have 100 cabs. It was 97 cabs or 93, I'm not sure. I think it was 97, but it was 50 new drivers, and lots of the drivers who literally come in with days to go, didn't they? Pulled into it, and they upped the task and stood up, and it's really, really good. Yeah, I was panicking because part of my job is to make sure in the car park, although it sounds trivial, getting people to get up close and close the gap and everything was really difficult, but they were really good, really good. It was amazing. It was really good.
How many were on it?
So there was 97 drivers. Then there's 3 ambulances, a truck wagon with all the food. There's 5 police cars, 3 AA vehicles, 7 City of London outriders, and 5 French gendarmerie. And they come over every year to do it.
So for those who don't know, the taxi trade organises a Disney trip.
Yeah, well, what it was, it originally started, it'd be 30 years next year that it's been going as long as Disney. What it was, Disney, I wasn't involved with it then, but Phil Davis, who's the past master on 2 occasions, I believe some of them was approached by Disney to prove how accessible Disneyland Paris was going to be for everyone. And I think it was 50 cabs went over. They even had the cabs going up the Champs-Élysées, just to emphasise the fact, like 29 years ago. Yeah, and 3 of them, Phil Davis, I think Jim Raymond, and Kenny Fleming, 3 of them have done all 29 trips.
But that's the 29 years of doing just Disney.
Yeah.
Prior to that, there was trips.
They have done trips, but I mean, and there's other charitable trips, you know, across with the veterans to Normandy and such like. But I've only ever been involved with the Disney one, and I got triggered into it by Derek O'Reilly and Malcolm. Right, when I was doing the knowledge and got my badge, and then they kept getting on to me about coming back, and I come back and I started teaching there. Lee was one of the people that come. Then they badgered you to get onto the worshipful company, and the next thing you know, you're going to the dues, and the next thing you're saying yes, and you're in before you know it. And I thought, I'll do it, and I'll be doing it 1-2 years, but it's 12 years now, and I can't. Yeah, I can't say no. It's really
you've been doing it 12 years.
Yeah, really difficult.
Really difficult. Amazing. I mean, for me, it was something that I thought to myself, I've always wanted to do it, but it was difficult to get on the trip.
First of all,
before the pandemic. But I thought to myself, there's often times where I give money to charity. You know, you give 50 quid to someone's Just Giving, and then you think no more of it, and you think, oh, I've given that money, blah blah. But this, you're actually physically helping. Yeah, you're actually on the trip. You're taking your family. You know, you're listening to their issues. Yeah. You know, you get to know them, and in that weekend, you've changed someone's life.
You have, and you get to know them really quick.
You do. You have to.
You become a surrogate dad.
For
the whole weekend. I mean, because I'm on the committee, I don't have to take them round. But beforehand, that was the thing. And they look to you for guidance.
Yeah.
If it's the mum, she's looking at you. If it's the dad, he's still leaning on you.
Yeah, of course. Because they think you've done it.
Yeah, they before. Think you know everything.
Yeah.
And you're a cab
lo and
driver.
behold, I've never been there before myself.
But you have to, you blag
to make it.
You blag it like you blag most things, you know.
Did you get to go on the rides then yourself?
That was a bit worrying for me because I'm scared of.
I'm scared
of heights. I'm scared of roller coasters, but.
If you're ever on Celebrity, get me out of it. We know what we're saying.
Yeah. Well, we're going that way, me and Dean. But but no, what the thing with me was, I since I was a kid, I went on the corkscrew at Alton Towers, and it scared the crap out of me. I thought I'm never doing this again. And the little girl that I was taking around the park with her parents, she was like, "Paul, please come on a roller coaster with me,
no,
please." And I'm like, "I can't. I'm scared." She was like, "I'm not scared." And you've got this 6-year-old kid who's very sick.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
Did you do it?
I went on with her.
Oh, well done.
I went on and
you're joking.
And I was sat with Frank, the driver that was sharing the family with me, and I was holding on to him. It wasn't one of the scariest ones either. They were trying to get me on a really scary one. I was like, look, I said I'd go on one with you. How could I say no to this little girl? Do you know what I mean?
Of course
she's not scared of anything.
You deserve a medal.
Well,
I think anyone in
it was a medal to do it, man.
No, you can't do. When you're younger, we dare ourselves to do this stuff.
Yeah,
but
when you get older,
I look at these roller coasters now. My daughter wants to go on, and we went on one called the family roller coaster. So it's tame.
Yeah.
I wanted to get off as it's going up the thing. I'm thinking, I don't want to be on this.
Especially with Disney as well. You think it's going to be very like PG, and it's just going to be like Martin said, teacups. But when you go there, it's like roller coasters going into darkness. It's
violent. It's violent.
The bottom fall out.
Well, I think with roller coasters, the thing is as it goes up, your heart's going, and it gets to the top, and but after that, you close your eyes and you just wait for it to end, don't you? And you think, right, I've done it, but that bit of going up.
She went, do you want to go another one?
Anticipation.
Oh, dear.
Do you want to go on another one? And then when I got down, and I've sort of calmed myself down, I've texted the wife and I've said, I've just gone on a roller coaster with this girl, blah, blah. She's just replied, well, perhaps you'll take your own kids on one now then.
Yeah.
I'm like, Then I've gone through the whole story. She's like, yeah, of course.
Well done, Paul. You have my admiration for going on there.
I want one of them round of applause off your...
I don't know where they are. I've got
Come on. There you go. You heard that.
Well done. So, Lee, was this your first year as well?
Yeah, first year this time. I mean, like Martin said, what it was is it started off as something I heard about, just coming to the end of the knowledge. And, I mean, as soon as you hear about it, like Paul said, you just want to be a part of it.
Yeah.
And back then, there was a long waiting list. So you had to be, it's who you know then. Yep. But obviously with the pandemic and everything else, drivers have dropped off. And then fortunately for me, I picked up Carlos, who is one of the organisers one night. And he just told me all about it. And I said, I've met Martin before. And he just got me on straight away.
Yeah.
And
brilliant.
It was just, it gains momentum pretty quick, the whole trip, because there's so much organisation into it, but it's really well organised as well. I have to say that.
Yeah,
Like,
that
it's
part
phenomenal.
is that takes a lot of people's time and effort to do
when
that.
you see it yourself as well, driving back from France, the
Yeah.
ferry, the police, and it's amazing.
And is that a medal that you got there?
No, I wish it was. This is just what you're given as when you go to the meeting before you leave, which is at Millwall FC. They give you a name tag just so the family you're with can know
Who you are and
who
that
you
you're
are.
genuine.
And also going into the park, there's a lot of security obviously and stuff as well. So when they see you're like part of this, which has been going for so many years, they know you're like with the family and you can be trusted, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So, but no, it's first time. There was a few other drivers I met at the testing phase down in.
Canning Town.
Canning Town, that was it, yeah.
NSL got involved. NSL give up their
Right.
space for the morning to test all the cabs.
Put the vinyls
Make sure
on.
they-
and
It's
stuff.
where they put all the livery stickers on,
Yeah.
from the
Sponsorships.
sponsorship and such like.
And I mean, there was a guy behind me. He literally just joined on the day before because someone got COVID.
Yep.
And then they asked him, and he said, "Yeah, I'm happy to be a part of it." And then he just jumped on, and same for him. So I mean, the woman I took, and I had a woman and 2 kids, her daughter and her daughter's friend, and she said, "I'm so nervous about coming because they said we're gonna have to spend the weekend with the driver." She was thinking, "What if I don't get on with him?" And so it's not just us; it's them as well. They've got to like really build up to this massive trip. But no, it's phenomenal.
I imagine all the drivers, if you've nominated yourself to go forward to this, the drivers are all going to be super.
Yeah.
I think
They
the
are.
worry is going to be the passengers.
It's like a lottery. It's like a lottery. You don't know who you're going to get.
Yeah.
You pull into that car park in the morning, like mine was Chase Farm, and you're just waiting for someone to approach you. But luckily, mine was as good as gold.
That's true. I've had more trips than you and different children that lot. But one year I had it was a lovely family, but the boy who had problems, he had a massive temper. And what he used to do, he was nearly as tall as me, Paul, laughing. He was
3'9".
He's only but he used to get the ump, and he used to take his shoes off and throw them.
Oh.
So when you went to the breakfast in the morning,
Yeah.
he had the ump straight away. He started throwing over the tables.
You're joking.
And I thought, oh my God, what are we going to do? But his mum managed to calm him. But he got the ump about 7 times, throwing shoes, just at anyone.
Yeah.
And you think, what are you supposed to do with You
can't.
And they're looking at you, they're like, oh my God.
You can't say anything.
Nah.
You
smack him.
Yeah.
You're as big as me. I can smack you.
It really sort of makes you think how lucky you are.
Yeah.
I know it's a strange thing to say, but you got a healthy family, but it makes you think what you've got, and it's just a special thing to do. Like it's called Magical Taxi Tour, and it's exactly what it says on the tin, isn't it? And the guys that run it have been doing it for so long. I mean, they're so dedicated to what they're doing. It's incredible.
Where does the cost? Who covers the costs?
Majority of it is sponsorship. It costs, I think it's 1,400 to. It might have gone up, but it used to be 1,400 to sponsor a cab, and individual people do it, but lots of people are like Geely who are involved.
LEVC,
and insurance companies, they might sponsor 3 or 4 cabs. And that's it. And it's word of mouth. And when you're driving in your cab now, I mean, I always do it. If you depending on the punter, you have to weigh up who you got in the back of the cab.
Of course, yeah.
And if you think they're slightly, then you steam in and say, I do this and I do that, and whatever, do that. And
It's a registered charity, isn't it?
Lots of them go. I say, just go on the website, and have a look under Magic, and they do.
Yeah.
Might throw the odd 50 quid in, and that builds up. But the actual sponsorship for a driver in a cab is 1,400 to sponsor the cab.
So on that sponsorship, Martin, there's you, the driver, there's your passengers, there's the cab itself going across for how many days?
It's the Friday to the Sunday.
So you've got 2 nights in a hotel.
Yeah.
And
Correct.
the entrance to Paris
all the
Disneyland.
pass into there. You also get a fast pass to go on to jump the queue. The fast pass also includes that you can jump the queue at food halls and such like. And
that sounds
times
a lot of money,
100.
but for
yeah,
times 100.
Yeah.
So they're raising 140 grand every trip.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, costings. I don't want to bore anyone with that side of the details. That's all for the, when we're sitting down in the committee. But I do know, because of the pandemic and people changing, that it was about 30 grand extra this year than it was compared to last.
Right.
Which is why we didn't have the Disney characters, because they wanted to charge another 8 grand just for the Disney characters to come
For the
in
gala.
for
Wow.
the gala.
Gala dinner.
Yeah.
But I've got to be honest, and I, as I said, I've been there before, and the Disney characters are great when they come in, but it tends to take away everyone rushing away from the table,
Yeah,
going up and all that.
Yeah.
Whereas this time, everyone was on the dance floor dancing,
That's
and
right.
there was no break.
Yeah.
It was just a fun
night.
party.
Yeah.
Evening.
I mean, that
It
DJ
really,
was
really
phenomenal.
good.
He's done a really good job of getting everyone
Yeah.
up, and just
He's done it. He's done it.
Oh, is he
every
really?
year that I've been there. Yeah,
Really?
He's
Jamie Owens.
Jamie Owens.
Yeah,
a
yeah.
cab
Oh,
as
really?
well.
Yeah, he's a cab driver. Yeah,
cab
yeah,
driver.
yeah,
so
yeah.
He's
Yeah, good guy.
yeah, it really
did
is.
have a cab driver mentality about him, definitely.
Yeah, oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it did seem like.
But yeah. So that basically the 1400 covers the basics of it or whatever. But it's about 130 grand or whatever. It's
Yeah.
I looked on the Just Giving site and they reached their target just before we went away.
touch and go. I
It
think
is,
isn't it?
yeah. I mean,
and that's
like
how
you
they
say,
do it. They do it not just giving.
Yeah, like you say, you've got to feed everyone. You've got to put everyone up. So you're putting the families up, the drivers up, all the committee, all the AA, all of them have got to have rooms, haven't they? We're sharing. That was a good fun part as well. You randomly sharing with another cab driver.
That you might not necessarily
So
know.
I've walked in and
Yeah.
this guy's walked in behind me. All right, mate. Yeah, and we
It's
didn't
hilarious.
know each other.
It's like,
And,
it's like you're going into prison.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
know
yeah,
what
yeah.
I've done.
Yeah, it
You
was
go in there,
exactly that.
and then you're waiting, and all of a sudden you get
No,
a tap on the door, and you're like, "Hello, mate, you all right? Yeah,
Yeah,
you're right." And then
yeah.
you're like,
What are you in for?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
All I could hear across the hall was like, "You don't snore, do you, mate?" I can't be
Oh,
on that. It was
yeah.
hilarious.
It's a fight to get back to bed early. Like,
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what it is, mate. Yeah,
Get
you
a
open the
sleep,
door, open, they're
otherwise-
not going to be in there.
And I remember going to use the lavatory, and he's shaving, and he's got the big Arsenal tattoo on his shoulder. It was like the Tony Adams
Someone
prison
done your-
story, the other way round.
Yeah.
It was good. It was good. He was really nice guy, and we got on really well as it goes. And I think everyone was the same.
Yeah.
That's what I
Yeah,
said.
no one said to me, "Oh, my guys, no." You know what I mean?
I
Everyone's
don't know whether it's
really
because you're cab
got on well.
drivers or it's because you're on the trip together, but you
Yeah.
seem to just be able to just mingle and talk.
Yeah, it was
really
great.
openly, and
Yeah.
then just become friends quick, and
Yeah.
it's it's
That's what I'm saying. As I said, I've been on more than one, and this year the camaraderie was instant.
Yeah.
People
It
just,
was.
it was just really good. It was
Yeah.
a lot. I've been on that. I've never, the photo shoot we did by the balloon when we was all a bit lively after we come out.
Yes.
yeah.
We've never done anything like that. And then there was about 50 of us with
Yes.
the old Bill
That was
as well.
amazing.
Yes.
And all that. Normally you're all 4s and 5s having a beer.
Yeah.
All right, mate.
No,
all
it was
that.
everyone
But
was
it
out on a Friday
everyone
night.
was
Yeah,
out
yeah,
on the
Friday
rat,
night,
yeah.
on a Friday night. It was
And we'd all
really
driven
good.
for what, 12 hours?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
the
you got
night-
lost, yeah?
That's what I mean. It
Like 3 hours away.
You can't get out of London.
Get there, though.
But it takes forever because you're in convoy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what happens is when you pick your family up from mine was Great Ormond Street. Picks them up from Great Ormond Street at just gone 4 a.m.
So you don't know where the family's going to be that you're going to pick up?
They tell you in advance.
You're not,
so
all
you've
the families are
got
not
to go.
waiting in a nominated place together.
No. They give you a family. They nominate your family at a hospital. So I was given a family at Great Ormond Street, and I drove down there at 4 a.m. Hadn't slept the night before because I was a bit excited and a bit worried that I wouldn't get up. So I had no sleep. Just longed it out. Drove there, and then you pick them up, and it was split between 2 cabs, and then we drove to Canary Wharf. Drove to Canary Wharf, and there's a big breakfast party there. They have a live band. They supply the breakfast at East Winter Garden.
What
That's
time
all
in the morning?
sponsored. That's at 5 a.m, Martin, is
5
it?
a.m.
Yeah, 5 a.m. So you're having your breakfast at 5 a.m, and then all the cabs are all parked up outside the East Winter Garden in that sort of bit that
The
goes
Lord Mayor
round.
does a speech.
The Lord Mayor does a
few
speech.
dignitaries.
Yeah, big speech. And then all your sponsors some of them come and see the cabs.
They want to
So
see-
we're all there, and all the police are there with a police escort, and you're driving out, and it's an incredible feeling. My hairs are on my arms thinking about it now.
Was phenomenal.
Everyone's bibbing the all,
Yeah,
making
everyone's
as much noise as you can.
you know, like balloons.
What,
and
in East Winter Garden?
Yeah. That was it. I mean, and then you come out onto East India Way or wherever it is, and all the traffic stopped, and they're all staring at you. And you go in convoy with the
And they'll
police.
be all holding everyone back.
Yeah, they're all holding everybody back. And then you realise that you're going all the way to Dover like that.
With the police escort all the way to
Yes,
Dover?
they close every exit of the motorway on the M2, the A2, all the way to Dover. And you're in police escort. So it does take some time, and
Yeah.
it's very difficult when you haven't slept. You get on the ferry. They have a little kids' party on the ferry with a magician, and it's a nice crossing. And then you do the same again from Calais to the park, but you have a stop. And at the stop, there's the French locals come out and they give you a party.
Yeah,
it's incredible.
Over the years, they built up, and again, Phil speaks to them quite regularly, and Phil's son converses with them, and they put a little party on. They got all sandwiches, all French breads and sweets and that lot, and they got characters come out and see you, and they're entertaining them while we're all filling up the petrol. Well, it used to be diesel, but now diesel, and getting everything ready done.
They're doing
for the next part of the journey.
And the noise we make as a convoy with the people on the ferry, especially. You know, everyone knows we're coming. Everyone comes out of their houses watching us. It's an amazing experience.
It was really strange because I was in the last cab with Lee.
Yes,
like both of us are committee members.
Nice
so
cab, that.
As we're coming down, we're looking above, coming down like through Sidcup and all that lot. And a couple of the drivers that have been on previous trips that couldn't do it or no longer cab driver, they're on the bridges waving at us.
Yeah,
I've seen that.
I saw
Waving
that.
at us. But it was ex-cab drivers who couldn't.
Brilliant.
You know, so it's just tremendous.
And these police and the gendarmerie and the city police flying past us at 100 odd mile an hour every, I don't know, 3 or 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Vroom, vroom,
To
vroom,
get
just
to the
closing
next
the
one.
exits. Then they stand up on their motorbikes and they're waving at us. And I'm thinking, why do they keep doing that? It's to keep you awake.
Yeah, it is.
It's to keep, because this is so hard.
You're staring at the back of a
but
cab.
it's so
waiting
worth
for the
it.
brake lights to come
Yeah.
on. Not to leave the gap too small.
Yeah. And then I'm getting a phone call. Your gap's too long.
Yeah.
I don't know who it was who phoned me. Your gap's too long. Move up.
It's probably Carlos.
Yeah, well, I think it was Carlos. Yeah. You cab number 52. I'm like, right, keep moving. But yeah, it was just.
So you 100 cabs in a line.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Think about that when
What
you
was
go
the
to the petrol
distance?
station
Yeah.
and you've got to fill them
Oh
up.
God.
That's really well organised as well because you've got like 4 guys and it gets done in about, what, 10, 15 minutes?
Yeah.
If that. And you think, how have they got all cabs filled up in... But they just do it. It's so well organised.
Did you fill up before you left?
Yeah,
then
everyone's told. We
fill
have
out
a
before you
debrief
go.
meeting. Have a brief meeting at Millwall the week beforehand just to run through things, and everyone has to turn up at the hospital or at Canary Wharf with a full tank, and then when we get to Sevilla in France, it gets filled up again.
Yeah.
And that lasts us to get back to the same service station on the opposite side to load up again to get back to Blighty.
Wow.
Yeah,
So how long is that? What's the length of 100 cabs
6
in a
miles
convoy?
sometimes, because you're stop starting. At times you're doing 30 mile an hour, and then you're doing 70, 80 trying to play catch up with them.
Yeah.
And you get. I was just going to say, you get silly sods who put their regen braking on.
Yeah,
So you can't see their brake lights.
Yeah. So just the cab just stops slowing down, and you're thinking, is that cab getting closer? And you're.
that's what I had to do on the Thursday when when we was over at NSL. I had to give out everyone the
Yes,
little
you gave
card
me one.
to remind people to
to
change
put on a
it.
regen.
Yeah.
So when you're doing the regen braking, your brake lights don't come on, even though it's heaving.
Yeah.
I think it's the same as if you're in cruise control and you notch it down.
Yeah.
You just go slow. It doesn't put brake lights on at all.
Correct.
Which is it's quite dangerous.
And then we get there on the Friday night.
Yeah.
We all park up. We see our families into their rooms, and then we go for dinner.
Well, as cabbies or with the families?
With the families initially,
Yeah.
and then after an hour or so, after you've had your dinner,
Kids are tired.
the kids are tired. They take them to bed, and we party.
Yeah.
Because we've worked very hard. We have a few
You've
beers.
done a drive. It's your
Done a
job.
long drive.
Professional drive.
But we're all together. We're all together as cab drivers.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it's a brilliant night.
It's a Beano.
Yeah, it's really good. We had a really good night, and I knew a few guys, but then there's a few guys I didn't know, like Lee and Martin, and we just all smashed it. We got on really well, and you know, and any problems you had, you went up to another cab driver because see Lee's badge thing. He's got no Mickey Mouse characters on it, but if you've done it for a year, you get a Mickey Mouse character with a year on, and some of them are covered in them, so you know that they've been there. So you go up to one of the guys and
Veterans.
you're like, oh, what do I do here? What do I do there? And they help you, and because they're just buzzing that you want to do it.
Yeah.
You know, because they wanted to do it at some point. You know, it's.
I think everyone wants to do it.
I think
And
everyone should do it.
should do it. Well, to be honest,
You know,
One thing I did talk about the woman I had.
each
with,
to their own. You
it's
know, it's all right.
It's all about getting it out there more. She works in the TV industry, and she said, "I'd really just want to push this out there,
Yeah.
so that more and more people know what you guys are doing because this is phenomenal. Like it it should be getting a lot more press than it is, because
Yeah, it should
it's
be
giving
on the
so many
news,
people and
you know,
families
yeah,
opportunities.
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
and it's just not getting the coverage it needs.
Well, we should have done some sort of filming of it.
Tom was on it. Tom was on it.
Yep,
Tom-
Tom's on it,
Tom's
yeah.
done a
Tom
film.
did a
yeah.
So
little,
Tom would have done his that's
Yeah,
it.
and Tom also did his own little bit of the preparation before on the Thursday and the Friday. So
Yeah.
It could be a mini documentary. The whole trip is a mini documentary.
Yeah, Lee would be obviously the one as well, because she's got she kept all the videos and stuff like that. But when we was in France at the filling up station, they actually got a drone out. They hired a drone and videoed all the cabs coming in and done a bit of film for it.
Incredible.
This was them, nothing
Yeah.
to do with us, and they sent it over to us to the committee.
Yeah, it's just, and it's, you know, the line of cabs, it just makes you feel so special that you're doing it. You know, like you were doing it with all your people, and, you know, you're bringing, especially bringing it to another country as well.
You know, it's been done for years and years, and not the Disney trip itself, but when I was a kid, they used to come past in Vedette Road. We'd be 10, 11 years old. There'd be the cabs with the balloons and bibbing their hooters and whatever. Now, I think they used to do a day trip to France for kids. So this has been going on for at least 50 years, but not the Disney trip. The Disney trip is 29 years.
Yeah.
There's a
and
couple
as
of
we've
other
moved
trips as well. There's one
Yeah.
up to Malden. That's a really good. The East London Cabbies Day Out, I think they call it,
Yeah.
or whatever. But that's one that I've been on. That might be the one you're thinking about.
Maybe. I mean, it's going to have to go back absolute years.
Yeah, that one's really
What was your
old.
family like?
They were really nice. They were a big family. They got put in last minute because the family I originally had, they had to drop out the day before because the child was too sick.
Oh,
I don't know what happened in the end, but yeah, ours was quite a big family because the family was already going, but because this family dropped out, they said, "Oh, do you want to bring your cousins?" So I had the cousins in my cab, and Frank had the sick child in his cab. And yeah, because there were so many of them, they kind of went around alone, and they sort of dragged us around with them.
yeah.
So yeah, they were fantastic. You know, it was.
So
an honour.
this to me is like, you know, if you're going to give £10 to a charity,
Yeah,
£9 might be going in someone's pocket. I think there
Correct.
used to be disgraceful things were happening, and £1 goes to the charity. Your 100% of your time and effort is there, and
yeah,
the value of what you've given is beyond
100%
the
value.
money. Yeah. Do they, whilst on the trip, are they raising money at the same time for any other events? No one's going around collection buckets or anything like that.
No. If people wanted to donate or whatever, they could do, but no, it's collected all throughout the year into the bank, into the account and whatever. And as I said, it's word of mouth. You're trying to encourage people to get involved and sitting in the back of the cab. But they've got stalwarts, insurance companies that, you know, guarantee every year we'll do 4 cabs or whatever. Lots, you know, a few garages used to do it.
Yeah.
And
I think it's amazing PR for our trade.
Yeah.
You know, like we often organise things in our trade that we put money into. You know, I could go on forever about that, but these things are the best because they make us look what we really are.
Actually,
good
Paul,
people.
It is fantastic PR, except that we don't promote it in a great. So in a sense, it's ultimate humility because we just do it.
we do it.
Exactly.
And we don't
Shout it from the hilltops or nothing.
saying,
no.
look, we're doing this.
Yeah.
It's all very humble. It's a humbling experience. To
It
be
is a
Yeah.
humbling experience. But it breaks you down it breaks you down a little
It
bit.
makes you realise what's important.
I mean,
it really does. Like,
Yeah.
come back
At
from
the
it.
end of the day, you know, some of these kids are not going to survive.
No, that's the thing.
You know,
Yeah.
that's the whole idea. you know.
Yeah.
It's choking sometimes.
It is.
you know.
It is. I mean,
The best thing I heard from it was Carlos was telling me he said one year we took this little girl and she was really ill and the medication, the treatments just weren't working. And they said after a weekend of going to Disneyland and coming back, she started to show signs of recovery.
Yeah, yeah.
And starting to get better. And he said that's what makes it. When you hear things like that, look, what we're doing is helping them.
You give them a positive feeling. You give
Positive
them a
lift
lift, and
whatever you can
yeah,
do.
medicine can only do so much.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know, it's experiences and things you do in your life that make things work.
Yeah.
You know, and I just felt good that I was doing it with people that were like-minded.
Yeah.
You know,
That's it.
it was
what did the
special.
kids feel at the end of the day?
Tired.
A lot of them were tired. When my family didn't even come to the gala dinner. They were too knackered. Yeah, they didn't come on the Saturday night. They didn't even come. So we had all these empty seats around us. So we had all their biscuits and we had all their biscuits.
Cookies.
Remember the cookies? They're all in bags. We bagged them all up. Yeah, but no. On all seriousness, yeah, they were just too tired.
The day
They
itself
couldn't.
is like you're doing so much walking around that park, like just from one end to the other. And then she said to me, "We just got to about 3 or 4 o'clock." She goes, "Oh, we've got the other half to do now." I thought, "Oh," and then we went over there, and there was just another like 2-3 mile radius to cover.
Yeah.
So it's just.
Was you watching your steps on your phone? Count your steps.
But a lot of them in wheelchairs, Dean. You know what I mean? A lot of them in wheelchairs,
that was.
you know, you
It's just really hard work, and that you don't
really hard
you don't realise how tired you are until you get home, and you're and you sit down on a Sunday evening, and you go, the gin and tonic comes out, and you go,
It's mentally,
and the wife wants to know about everything, and you go,
I couldn't talk.
I can't talk.
I couldn't talk.
I'm sorry,
It took me until the next day. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I was buzzing, but I was just like, I needed my bed and I just needed to rest because the driving. I mean, we all drive for a living. We all do 10, 12 big shifts. Yeah. But it's not like that because you've got the same passenger. You're running for 12 long hours you're in convoy. You've got to concentrate. You've had little sleep because when you're going to work,
you're worried about them in the back as well.
You are.
So it's stressful without you realising how stressful it is. And you want it all to be good and right for them, you know, and you just praying that nothing goes wrong or that you're good enough to, you know. And it's nice at the end when they send an email or the kids drew a little picture or write a little story to you. You know, it's great.
Yeah,
it's heartbreaking.
Mine had a sneaky video of me on the roller coasters, and she sent that to me the next day.
Had you?
I'm not putting it on here.
Oh, you know?
Yeah, some of them were just amazing. I mean, and I think the highlight for me was the bit where we were just about to leave the park on the Sunday. Sunday, on the Sunday, and they let the children use the police cars and the bikes. They let them mess about with the sirens.
Oh, yeah.
And the noise was
just a
just
different level, wasn't it?
Revving the
unbelievable.
engine,
Revving the motors, using the sirens, and they were letting the kids just go mad. Even the adults, we were all allowed to do it as well. It was amazing.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
I was allowed to
on there. I was on there, mate. I was on.
With the helmet on.
Yeah. It was. But it was incredible. The noise.
The noise.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Wasn't it?
Yeah. We'll put that on there as well. That's great. That is great.
There was some real memorable moments, but I mean, at the gala, one of them that really got me and really choked me up was the DJ. I can't remember his name. What was his name again?
Jamie.
He said at the end of this, every gala, we put this song on every year, and it's usually just a few of us left. But this year, we'll put it on, and it was that song from Dirty Dancing. I've had the time of my life. And all the kids came out, and when they were listening to the words, all the kids are dancing with the drivers. Yeah, everyone's in the centre dancing round, mate. It really,
it was a nice moment. Yeah.
And at that point, you're emotionally, physically drained.
You're done.
You're done. But you're still going.
Yeah.
So you're on it next year?
Oh yeah, 100% without a doubt. If they ask me, if I've done a good enough job to come back.
This is the thing. This is probably why there's a waiting list.
That's what it is, mate.
Normal time. So we've been. I think we've been really lucky.
Yeah.
What you think they're filtering to trying to get the absolute best 100 drivers?
No, I don't think that. I think that once you go on it, you don't want to come off of it because you want that experience again. Yeah. And I think the reason why they needed drivers this time was because of COVID.
Yeah.
And a lot of drivers retired.
Yeah.
You know, because they were an older demographic.
So it's actually very, very hard to get on.
Yes.
Normally. Yes. Because they don't want to get off. Those that are on it like to go on the roller coasters.
I think that's right, isn't it, Mark?
Yeah.
Go on roller coasters,
As I said, there was 50 new drivers.
That's incredible.
And 50%. So
wonderful.
I was worried about what, but everyone steps up to the plate.
It was good because we were all in the same situation of not knowing what was coming and what to do.
Yeah.
So whereas usually you probably go there and everyone knows.
Did Lee drive this year?
Yeah, Lee.
So she drove, so just passed out. She's
I was sharing a driving with her. So she just passed out in the back a couple of times.
Yeah.
Sorry, Lee.
But
I'll cut that out.
But I was a bit worried because when we went to the meeting at Millwall Stadium on the Thursday before the trip, the way they were going through everything, I don't know. This is confusing. Yeah. It's too much to take in.
It is too much.
I was a bit worried, and this was on my mind the night before. I was like, what about if I get this wrong, get that wrong, and do you know what I mean? I don't want to let anyone down.
What do you mean there was a lot of
I want to get
things
up.
that they told you beforehand?
Because there's so much. There's so much to the trip.
We got to remember it was the day that the Queen had just died as well.
Oh, well, that was that.
So we knew.
You went on the Disney trip the day the Queen died.
No, that was the day.
The week before, when we had the briefing at Millwall, she died. But
that day.
We got there early, the committee meeting, and the police come in, and we're sitting there talking away, and they knew before it was announced on the she's gone. So wait for everyone to gather, and then we had a minute silence before the nation had a minute silence. Then we all stood up, and then did it. But there's so much to remember. I get blasé about it because I know it all, and I think, oh, come on, Phil, hurry up. But you have to be slow and you've got to be pragmatic and tell everyone.
right.
But not everyone can take it in. And what Carlos is thought, that maybe we should do a video as well to accompany it, so everyone who might have missed something in the meeting, because it goes on for so long, your mind might wander. You don't remember everything goes on, but there's a pamphlet and everything there, and you can always ask. But it is
complicated.
An awful lot to remember.
What I was leading on to say was there was so many people to help, so there was no. I shouldn't have worried. There were so many people to help, and if in doubt, you just followed the cab in front of you anyway.
That's exactly.
You know what I mean?
It was just.
That's what
I mean,
did.
even though there's a committee member like Steve Hills, he's great.
Steve, Steve. Yeah,
he don't want to be a committee member, but he's an organiser without him realising he is. And he created an app, a WhatsApp for us. And like all of us got on it, didn't we?
Yes.
So that if you want any questions, ask Steve, ask Martin, blah blah blah. And we're still using it now, aren't we? We're still cracking.
We're still
jokes.
doing it. Yeah, this is
Normally you delete it straight away, but this one's carried on.
Yeah, it has,
And we're all going out for a beer soon and whatever. So it's,
That's what Paul was saying though about following the cab in front. When you go into Dover, you have to show your passports, show your guests, your passengers' passports. But then there's a gap between the cab in front, and it goes round the bend. This probably never happened to you, mine, because you're used to it. But it goes round the bend, and then it's gone in the distance. So then I'm at the front now, and everyone's following me, and I'm thinking, whatever. And then I spotted a cab here at the corner of my eye going through this circuitous bit. So I spun round and followed him, and obviously I've gone the wrong way. I'm supposed to be going towards passport control, and I'm going towards I don't know what I was going. And then everyone was following me. This guy was going, oh, no, you're not supposed to come this way. And they were just cab. I never did this. He just had to let us through. And everyone was going, who done that? I was like, I don't know, I was just following the cab. I completely blagged it. I just weren't taking the mate. But it's like you said that.
You're guilty now, everyone.
Yeah, I know. Everyone
what was the cab that you followed? It was just a regular cab driver, or maybe?
Yeah, it was just genuinely, but I should have known with the decals on the side.
Yeah.
It wasn't one of ours.
Yeah. Said through now on it, and you just followed.
Yeah. Going for a job.
Oh man, yeah.
Sylvie's involved.
Sylvie.
Yeah, he shouts at people. He shouts at people.
Well, Carlos shouts. Sylvie is he's like a bear. He gets everyone up dancing, and he does the conga. Sylvie, imagine Sylvie doing the conga. Sylvie's really good.
Yeah, he shouted at me a couple of times in the car park. You know, when you got to get going, and get your because my family's always late back. They're always busy or going to the toilet, and they're always hurrying. Where's your family? And I'm like, all right, mate. You know, but he's on it. Do you know what I mean? He's on it, and it was good. Who else was there? So Carlos,
Lee's boyfriend John. He's part of it.
John Budgeon, yeah.
There's Kenny Spanners Fleming. There's Jim, but they take their wives as well. The wives help out on
doing the food,
yes. And they leave when we leave to go in the cabs in the morning. The women get the Eurostar out there, so they're there before we are, and they set up all the tickets on the thing ready for us, so that when we arrive, we escort the families over, pick up all their hotel room keys and all the passes for Disney for the day. But they actually go over, so they're there in the afternoon preparing all that.
Wow, I didn't know that.
And at the same time, they're preparing, on the Saturday morning while you lot are all going around the park, and we're sitting there with the AA and the medical staff just in case anything goes wrong. 5 of them go into Paris to get the food for the return journey, and then the wives put all the food together in the truck wagon, ready for the Sunday
return journey.
So there's no
so much
no
slouching.
There's a lot of stuff going on. So.
I mean, you could imagine turning up to a Premier Inn, say, with 100 cabs, not to mention 3 people in each cab. Yep. So you imagine all those people turn up at the same time.
Yeah.
So there's these women on these desks, and they're so quick with what they do. They just hand out these envelopes, and then next minute everyone's out having dinner, and you're like, "There's no queues. There's nothing.
It's all sorted.
Even the packed lunch. You turn up to that Canary Wharf in the morning.
Well, that packed lunch.
And there's packed lunches there.
That packed lunch. After we'd done the NSL with you lot, and put all the stick. Right, I mean, there's loads of it, because me and Michael Cullen, as another one who's on the committee as well, me and Michael Cullen, the Monday before, we're over Lee Bridge Road getting all the stickers ready. And I was there from 7 in the morning till 7 at night, So you're putting all the stickers together, you're putting them in a pamphlet. So that's for cab number 1, that's for cab number 2. Honestly, and you're waiting for them to print it off while you're doing it, and you're waiting for it to dry, so that you can put it in. So that's all ready, so that when it goes in there, you can stick it all on. So you forget, like, so done all that. On the Tuesday, we're over Millwall, getting all the food ready to be taken to the kitchens over at Wimbledon to get prepared, ready for the dinner on the Friday. Then on the Thursday, after we've put all the livery stickers on and everything, I go to Marriott Hotel with the others to get all them red boxes with all the sandwiches in it, throw them in the back of the chuck wagon, so it's all ready. So on the Friday morning, they're all put. I tell you, it's just madness.
I don't think you're doing enough for the charity. Right?
I
think you need to put more into it. Yeah.
You know, everyone.
No, you're right.
You know, Phil and Alan, they go to like meet the police, countless meetings, update and Phil's son, like he can speak French and he's fluent, and he contacting them, making sure this is all right, and he's a gentleman who goes in to pay when we're putting the petrol in. He has to pay on a credit card, and that's a hilarious in its own way, you know,
of course,
because you know they're arguing about, you know, it's just you go on and on and on. But they're putting, and Phil and Alan go over to Disney, down to Dover to meet P&O people. You know, P&O are big contributors. They're really good. I know they got a bad press because of what they did after the pandemic, but they really are big contributors to the. And Marriott Hotel are really good. And we got a Christmas gala on December the 10th.
Yes,
that Marriott provide a room for us to go in and all.
Well, you'll celebrate as the cabbies that done it.
And also try and make more money. We got prizes, you know, that you raffle off to try to win stuff and pump up the.
So in a more promotional aspect, how do we say to drivers that maybe are interested next year, that want to go on the Disney trip next year, to get involved, and how they can nominate themselves to go forward and come on
the
trip?
They can contact the WC. The worshipful company.
You
can go on the website and register that you're interested in it. See any of us. There's loads of people. I've noticed that going around the city and all that, loads of people have managed to leave the stickers on the back
bumper.
Back bumper.
Just, you know, so
nod.
Nod to the old. But they do. The old will recognise you. You know. And all right. How are you?
City London, please.
Because they've invariably, they're the same driver, the same riders all the time. In fact, one of the ex-policemen who's retired, he actually drove one of the cabs this year. He was in California on his Harley Davidson, and we was running out of drivers, and Carlos rang him up, and he went, "You won't believe this." He said, "What?" He said, "You won't guess where I am." He said, "Where are you?" He said, I'm riding on the highway in California, listening to Led Zeppelin at the moment. You know. He said, "But I'll do it for you." Right, so the week before he was in, like, having a trip on a Harley. The next week he's driving some kids in a
brilliant.
There's a guy in one of your cabs. I don't know.
There was a guy that comes down from Scotland every year. He's an ex-cab driver.
Him and his dad used to do it. The pair of them, but his dad's not very well.
And these people have been doing it for years and years and years. But I would say to anyone doing the knowledge, like, when you get your badge, it should be one of the first things you think about. Is trying to get on one of these trips to give something back to
exactly. When I was doing the classes,
the charities.
I used to tell you about all this.
Yeah, that's where I got it from.
And I used to, you know, I knew not everyone was going to be interested, but I just
don't want everyone. It's not going to work
for 5 minutes. And lots of them, like, I mean, there was you, there was that. There was about 5 people, and I was quite chuffed that ex-pupils from 4 or 5 years ago were now actually doing the trip.
It sticks in your head as soon as you hear about it. It's just one of those things. I want to be a part of that.
They were crap drivers, but
they don't know where they're going. But as long as they can get to France,
you know, I'll be following someone. So it's all right.
Now you really are part of the industry. Doing these things makes you really part of what it is that this industry is. I liked the fact that maybe we wouldn't understand what a motorbike was, and you did the impression of one.
That was good. That was good.
It was a chopper. It was a chopper as
well. Should I have done that? I should have held my hands up.
He was doing that anyway.
So he's on a motorbike. Okay. I don't think you could help it, Mike, because your arms just went up.
That's great.
Over the years that you've done this, Martin, you must have come across some unusual events.
You know.
I'll tell you one.
I'll tell you one very brief story. It was my second trip, and we had great weather, didn't we? We went there.
Yes.
And this second trip, it was a little bit later. It was in October, not September, and it was miserable. It was cold. and you're tired, and and I had a wheelchair. The little boy was in a wheelchair, and it was horrendous, and you could see that he weren't too happy about it and all that. So his mum said, like, you know, we're going to go back. It's hard. I went, all right. So I said, what about the sister? She went, well, we got to go back. I said, no, one of you's got to go. So I elected to stay with the daughter and take her around the park while the mum went home with the little boy because he was so cold. They come from Luton, Dunstable actually, and he just wasn't enjoying himself and must have been miserable. So they got home. So we're all right, and we've gone in to watch a show, and I thought, oh, this is nice. You know, I fell asleep. I was knackered, but because I didn't have to concentrate because I weren't pushing the wheels, I fell asleep. Woke up, done all that lot. So we're walking around. She's got cameras. She's taking pictures and all that. She said, before we go back, can I go into the shops to buy some stuff? And I went, yeah, of course you can. She said, I've got some money. I said, no, well, I'll get it. You know, we'll work it out with your mum. So done all that like that. As we're going out, she went, oh, I said, what's the matter? She said, I've left the camera in there. Her mum's camera she'd left in one of the shops, but the security wouldn't let us in. I said, well, you got to let her. And he went, well, they allowed to let her in. Now I'm thinking, hang about, I've let a minor into the Disney. Yeah. I'm this side. I'm supposed to be in charge of her, and she's got to try and get. Fortunately, she got the camera and come back. But I think, oh God, I'm going to get slaughtered by everybody on the committee.
Wow,
the mum's going to go mad at me. Lost the camera. Well, there's only my second.
Lost the kid, the camera. You fell asleep in the cinema. Seemed all right.
I got a kid. And the other one was an Irish family, and a little boy. He just went, cars. What? Oh, I've got cars. Well, nothing else but cars. So he said, his dad went, is there any rides you can cars? So there is. There's one ride, isn't there? Yeah, in Disney.
Yeah, cars. It's cars, isn't it? Yeah.
So I said, we're going out. He said, is there any other cars? I went, no. He went, oh, we went on it 7 times. 7 times. Like, you know.
Do it, didn't you?
What can you do?
You just got to do it. Yeah, you just got to give them what they want.
Come on, Martin, it wasn't for you going. the boy wants to go on cars, he goes on cars.
I'm sure there's other ones, but they're 2 quick ones anyway.
Well, a good one is the fact that you lost the kid. That's very good.
Kid, you fell asleep.
Not
and
many
you
people.
Lost the kid's equipment, the camera, and the lot. Yeah, well done.
And there's evidence. No one knew about it. I thought I kept it quiet.
All this time.
Yeah. It was uneventful for you, Lee. Nothing happened. Nothing went wrong. Apart from leading the cabs astray.
Apart from that little minor detail, there wasn't too much. You know, it's pretty. Even though, like Paul said, there's loads to take in, there's loads to remember, but you kind of just go with it on the day.
When you say there's loads to take in, what do you remember about what you was trying to take in?
At the meeting, the briefing, there was a lot of warnings and stuff. Like the policeman leading the motorcade was saying, just don't ever leave the lane, because if you ever leave the lane, think about it, you've got a motorbike coming up at 120 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Don't pull out.
Yeah, don't pull out. Always stay in, because you might think, a driver might think to himself, well, I need to pull off and go into the petrol station, use the loo, whatever like that. So you've just got to always remember to call someone. I can think of it. All went.
No, that was quite important. I mean, you ain't going to think of that kind of thing, but you could.
Like you're
because
half
the
asleep.
ambulance don't know whether there's something wrong with the kid, and you're pulling. So everyone's got our phone numbers. Plus the ambulance phone number to ring.
So you have 2 ambulances travelling with you purely for the benefit of anything happening.
Yeah, and the AA pulls off and follows as well.
For any mechanical
for anything like, and us as the last cab have to do that as well. So all 4 of us will pull off to. You're right. Yeah. It's just a wee stop. Thank God for that. Yeah. You go on. We rejoin the concave, and they get on. Yeah. Go a wee, and then. They have to motor like hell to get back into it.
I mean, like you said, the briefing, they fill you in on every detail of the trip.
Yeah.
So you think you've got to remember it, like, oh, then you've got to leave the park at this time. Then you've got to be back at the park to get the shuttle bus to the venue for the gala dinner. So you're trying to remember it all, but you don't need to, because it's all on a pamphlet. But it is a lot to take
but we're cab drivers all got photographic memories.
Yeah,
it was easy. You just listen once, it all goes straight in, and then you just turn around and away you go. Yeah.
Do you not remember someone not knowing where their room was on the Friday night?
I didn't want to shame you for it. I was going to be nice about it.
Because on the card, you get a card for your room, and it's blank.
Yeah, it don't say what number.
It don't say what number your room is, so you've got to remember your room number.
Isn't it?
And they're all identical.
It's just a credit card, yeah?
It's a credit card to go in, and I had that. Obviously, I hadn't lost it. And funny enough, I'd come back with you, hadn't I? We'd had a few drinks, nothing major. And I couldn't find my room. And he's standing there, he's going, if you don't find it, you can just jump in our room.
You haven't been in the room at all yet.
I've only just briefly been in there to get changed and come back out again.
You've been in the room and you can't find the room you've already been in. That's a little bit different.
And I'm going round and round, up and down the stairs, checking. I'm putting my key in all these rooms. It's not working. And it's gone. I think it's been quite a while now, mate. I mean, maybe 15, 20 minutes. And
you know what happened? I actually went in and Paul was going, do you know what? I'll go reception. I'll sort it out. But sometimes these cards, if they rub against your phone, they lose magnetic power. Yeah. So I went in, and then I came back out on the phone about 15 minutes later. Paul was just stood up and down the corridor. I said, Paul, you just got to give it up, mate. It's not going to happen.
Was you on the right floor?
I was. Well, this is the thing. So he's standing there outside his room, right? And I went, I'll give up. And so I said, all right, if it's all right, I'm going to stay in your room. But I'm just going to try this last room opposite yours. And it was the whole time. Yeah. I was in the room opposite him.
And you didn't know that?
No, had no idea. No.
Oh, Paul.
No, I know.
How did you even find your way to Paris?
It was hilarious. It was great. What a trip, though. I mean, when I got back, I was like, it's one of the best things I've done in my life, to be honest.
Well, you all deserve medals, and you get kind of a medal.
Our medals, yeah.
And I wasn't trying to.
Fist bump.
Oh, yeah, fist bump.
Fist bump. I'll do.
Yeah, well done.
But yeah, like Paul was saying earlier as well. Me and Paul met up for breakfast on the Sunday, wasn't it?
That's right.
Like, me and Paul haven't spoken at all, bar that.
Yeah,
drunk and chat.
Yeah.
And then we just sat down having breakfast, talking about the trip, and you feel at ease with everyone.
Yeah,
because you know you've all done the same thing together.
Yeah.
So you just whereas you go into Euston and try and. You don't even want to look at another driver in case he gives you a dope. On the trip, it's easy. It's just
But yeah, it is. And I've seen a few of the drivers while I've been out working, and they're like, "All right, and it's like it's just another level."
A little club, isn't it?
Yeah. And long may it continue. That's all I can say.
And it will.
Long may it continue. Yeah, it has to. It has to. And I think it could get a little bit bigger if it wanted to. Yeah. You know, because a little push.
We need more people involved because eventually the people that run it will have to stop and someone else will have to step up. So
well, if it's already a 6 mile convoy, it sounds organisation of this is immense and they deserve really big credit. But how much could you cope with? I mean, a 10 mile convoy is
trouble, you know.
2 a year maybe, but you'd have to have obviously more budget and more people involved because I mean Carlos said to me they start planning it on the way back.
We already are, we got next year's dates booked.
Yeah.
We're already booking because we bring people down from Birmingham as well. There's 25 kids that come down from Birmingham, and I and a couple of other people stay in one of the hotels near Canary Wharf to make sure that they're all okay. Book them in, and then in the morning we're up and over there. So it's
Can you tell them to put the room numbers on the keys next?
Yeah.
Please, because that was embarrassing. So yeah.
Anyway, lads. You've done an hour and 10 minutes talking rubbish.
Yeah,
it's been superb.
It has.
I don't know how popular it's going to be because it's usually we've got a dour time. This has just been too bloody happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we've all been like that.